Hi, good evening, folks. In this video, I want to go over, I wrote down 7 notes in regards to the Granato interview earlier today. Coming up. All right, there's a few things that stood out. Sorry I'm late, guys, busy day. I'll try to even get some other video out, but this one for me is really a priority today. This was a huge day for us. And there's things I want to discuss, so let's go right into this. All right, I paid very close attention to Granato's interview and his mannerism and everything. And this guy is, he's just so thrilled to be the head coach of Buffalo Sabres. I mean, God, you know, like I really think we made the right call here. I can't say it enough. And how wrong I might have been about maybe getting somebody else. But right now, I really believe we've made the right call. Either that or I'm easily sold, and I'm usually not. But, okay, look, here's some stuff that I spotted in the interview. First thing I wrote down is he said nothing else interested him in the interim and had no desire to pursue anything else because he said he didn't feel right about it. So you see, there was already a connect with this man and the kids, the team, the organization. The guy already felt obligated, even though they didn't have him employed officially as head coach, to stick around and wait it out and see what they're going to do. He felt obligated not, I guess it said here, he did not feel right about it, so he didn't pursue anything else, meaning there was, I'm sure the phone rang for this man. I mean, he obviously has a decent reputation, and the phone rang for him maybe, I don't know, who knows? It could have been college calling, could have been anything, right? As a head coach, who knows what it was? Could have been another potential job somewhere else in the NHL. We just don't know. He's not going to tell, you know. And number 2 thing, I like that though. Made me feel good, you know. Number 2 thing, he says he sees this as an obligation more than an opportunity. You know? An obligation. He sees this as an obligation. He knows it's an opportunity, but he said, you know, and he stopped himself when he was saying opportunity. He goes, no, an obligation. Like he feels obligated because I think he feels he was on his way to doing something maybe special, but the kids and the season ended, right? And that's just, yeah, because that's the number 3 thing. But he believes that the young players are an opportunity. You know, and he talked about, he pointed out I think he was talking about the fight that Cousins had. I think he was talking about that indirectly. You know, it's very, very, very interesting that he talks about that, you know. But look, he talked about team and outlook, and I'm going to go through a clip here. Take a look at this. See what you think of what he says here.
Now that you have a full season to prepare for, you're not just taking over, you know, in the middle of things when the season's already slipped away from you.
Yeah. Hi, Ted. Thank you for that. I don't see practices changing from the standpoint of tone. The players' response was outstanding. They enjoyed it. They loved it. They're competitors. They love to compete. So maybe we adjust the time, the duration of a practice, but we will not compromise the competitiveness of practice. You know, when they enter a game, hopefully what you ran in practice, the game actually feels a bit slower or a bit easier, and we'll continue with that mindset. Again, I felt the players embrace that, and that won't change. The volume of practice is nice. I mean, what helped me tremendously was my 5 years at the national team program and taking the team over with only 12 practices. You learn there quick. I had the best talent in the country playing in. We put them in the USHL or league or the college leagues. The players were 4 or 5 years older than them, and this is the best talent in the country. But they never knew how to play together. They didn't need to use their line mates where they came from. They were just better. But we had as a coaching staff there about 100 to 120 practices a year. And I really went into that job with the hindsight of having coached in the American League and coached in the NHL, and how do I develop a player faster or implement a system more efficiently and effectively. And, you know, that helped. And that will help even with our training camp for me to prepare the team for, you know, game 1, game 2, all the way on. And that was one thing from a coaching respect, I was most hopeful for to get this opportunity to coach this team, was to have more of an opportunity to move the team along in a progression. And it is all about a progression, as I've spoken many times. So that's how I feel on that.
Right. I thought that was, spot on what he was saying there on his team, on the team and the outlook and everything. And I was also, taken back on the obligation part of it that he talks about. He seems like a man that, I don't know him in personal life, of course, but he seems like a guy that his word is gold, He's probably a type of guy that would really, really get upset at the Pegulas if they broke their word with them. Like, he seems like that type of guy, But he talked about obligation also, as we said. He sees this as an obligation, right? And also, there was another clip on that I took out of the interview, and I'd like you guys to check this also. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out.
The obligation I feel for the team, or for the obligation is really for the fans. I mean, I grew up in Chicago area. The hockey wasn't real big when I grew up, and I went to high school, and it was the football players at high school. It was the baseball players, but it wasn't hockey players. I finished high school in Minnesota, and you felt that's a hockey community. I mean, that was an amazing experience for me to go to Minnesota and finish high school in a hockey community. And the love of that, finally people appreciate what you go to bed at night dreaming about being and becoming. And that's what we have here in Buffalo. That's amazing. I listen to various radio shows or national telecasts and radio shows, and they love to just throw, shots out there that, regarding Buffalo might not have this or it's harder for this. There's nothing hard about people. I can assure you, I know the players, lots and lots of extremely talented players. What we have in Buffalo is special, and they love that. I know our group last year has such a pride for the city and the community and playing hockey here and putting a jersey over their shoulder. And that's what we need to feel and feed off of. And it's easy to feel and feed off of that here. Now, the challenge of it is, there's an intensity to that, but I love that intensity to that. We're not down somewhere where it's not a hockey community and nobody knows who we are. I like the pressure of that. I think I know we can get our players to thrive on that pressure, where maybe, there are moments where they didn't necessarily thrive on that. So, watching a player, and I'll use a specific player in this, Dylan Cousins this year, and various players, and Tage Thompson was another one that comes to mind. So this is just coming to mind right now, where they stuck up for their teammates and stuck up for the team right away, instantaneously. The surge that went through me, I know went through people watching those players. They cared about their teammate, they cared about the team, they cared about our organization. As Kevin said, players that want to be here, it falls into the categories like that. So we have an obligation. I feel an obligation that we have to get people here that thrive on that situation. And we have a lot that are already doing just that. So I look forward to that moving forward. But in essence, that's the essence of it, Alex.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Number 4 that impressed me. He talked about the alumni. I don't remember the last time a coach, unless I've missed it or I forget it, I don't remember the last time we hired a coach and he shot out so much respect for the alumni of the Buffalo Sabres. I honestly, folks, I can't remember that. Call me crazy. Maybe one of you can say, Wayne, he did say this back when we hired Kruger or something. I don't know. Or Kruger did, or I don't recall ever hearing somebody point out something. And I'll tell you the story he gives. This is really good, guys. This is really good. So he's going to this golf thing with the alumni, okay? And he comes in the back room, okay? And he quietly walks in because he's late. At least that's what I remember him saying in the interview. And in this situation, he sees Rob Ray in the front of the room. And of course, Rob Ray's like the bouncer and starts walking towards guards him. Okay, puts his hand on his shoulder like, who are you? Rob Ray's still crazy, I'm telling you. Anyway, it was a Gulf Country Club, and he said he was shocked how many alumni were there. That made a real impression on him, that here are the guys that dove in front of pucks and guys that gave 100% as a Buffalo Sabre in their careers. And there they are still together at these events, but a lot of them, that's what he said really impressed him. He could not believe it wasn't just like 10 guys, it was a mass amount of guys. A lot of people were there, And yeah, he really, really talked a lot about the alumni and showed a lot of respect there. I like that. I do. I really, really like that. But anyway, so once Rob Ray realized who he was, and Rob Ray goes, oh, welcome, come on in. But at first, Rob Ray's gonna let him, hey, you're not allowed in here, get out. Rob Ray, hey? Gotta love Rob Ray, man. All right, number 5. In what practice time he had, he was totally impressed about the kids' effort. He said that the competition level was getting higher, he felt. At least that's, again, what I remember with the interview. And he was talking about just how the competition level of the kids was getting like this. And that really impressed him. I guess maybe he wasn't expecting it. Maybe under Kruger, you know what I mean? He's standing there and he's like, I don't know if these kids even have it in them. And then he started seeing with his practice schedule how things changed, Number 6. He did about losing the big 3. He said it can make you better as an organization because you don't know what all will transpire because of it. When, he gave the right answers, but he gave quick answers. Really, he didn't hesitate. You could tell, if I was willing to bet, I have an honest gut feeling that he is fed up with the spoiled brats, this guy. I just gut feeling watching this interview. Wasn't something I was looking for either, folks. No, when I was watching this interview, I was just interested as a fan, right? But they were asking the right questions, Harrington, Harrington and company. They were, and Hamilton, they were asking the right questions, They kind of diverted the whole thing from, hey, congrats to being head coach to what about Jack? What about Sam? Like they started this, Just saying. So about losing the big 3, he did say it can make you better as an organization because we don't know what will transpire. I agree with that. And they know exactly what, number 7, they know exactly what direction they want to go in. They know exactly. So the kids already know what this man's vision is, okay? And talked about addressing things before a playoff series that can beat them eventually. So they want to go and talk and address things that can beat them in a playoff series before they get to that playoff series. You get it? I like that thinking. I do. It's like, hey, we're going to be a playoff team eventually. We got to make sure right now we don't wind up being one of these teams that loses every single year because of these same stupid things. You know what I mean? And he wants to address those things ahead of time. I like that. That's Scotty Bowman mentality, to be honest. And then when it come down to the whole thing with how he feels about the whole Jack situation, okay? Check this clip.
Don, I'm interested in your thoughts on, there's 5 teams in what is going to be your division. We're in the playoffs this year, and 2 of them are in the Stanley Cup final. And how daunting a task that makes your challenge. And just if I could, Kevin, briefly, John Vogel asked about the communication, and to be honest with you, that wasn't really answered. I mean, you said it's critical to have that communication. Are you communicating with Jack Eichel would simply be my question.
Hey, Mike, I'll answer that one as quick as I can that you asked me on the challenge ahead. You have to thrive on challenge. I mean, if you're going to win and be successful at the highest level, you have to love challenge. And I will reiterate this. It's really important for us. There's a lot of petty stuff that happens, and emotional stuff that happens, and you want a response. And those things, organizations, coaches can get stuck on petty things and anchored down. There's certain things you have to just move past and focus on and not be bogged down. And I'm talking about your question with us challenging our division. And 2 teams are in the Stanley Cup Finals are in our division in Tampa and Montreal. When we are successful, when we're going to be successful, we are going to improve our players and our team. We're going to develop to the point where we can win consistently. We'll hit a tipping point if we just stay focused on getting better. It's inevitable. If we get tugged and pulled aside and distracted on things that don't continually make us better, it's going to be a lot harder to find that tip to get to that tipping point. So we will stay the course. The course is improvement, getting better. And I've done it. I've seen it with teams. I've been part of it with championship teams. There's a lot that will fall into place with that mentality and that objective, and that will fall in place. I'm confident of that. And we have so much room for growth that it's powerful when you look at what we have and what we have coming, what we have in our system already, whether it's in Rochester or elsewhere, in the form of draft picks, and certainly the players that we saw in young guys that were empowered and took advantage of it last season. So that challenge is really, really exciting to me. I know we can do it.
So as you can see there, he doesn't, of course, call out it's Jack, but of course he's not talking about like the Habs and Lightning, are the thing that can like bring you down. He's talking about how off-ice drama is poison for a franchise, and he's right. He's right. If I didn't miss my guess, folks, I would tell you that this man is just fed up. What he's seeing happen with the whole thing, the whole fiasco, the whole thing. I haven't seen anything like this, honestly, since Lindros. What's going on? It's ridiculous, That's why I hate the fact, yes, I was wrong. Yes, you can put it in the notes. Wayne, you were wrong. You said he'd be gone by now. He's still here. There you go. But I don't know. This whole thing is... This whole thing, I'm glad we did the coaching hiring before anything, And my guess is this guy has the real inside scoop, most likely when Jack's being dealt, And he almost sounded like he wants to lash out, if you noticed in that last clip. That's how I took it, when he's talking about like this unhealthy atmosphere and stuff, like he was pretty clear that we don't need this stupid drama, basically is what I heard when I heard that. And I'm sure he's not talking about our division. So, okay, folks, on that note, I'm going to stop the video there. I just wanted to run by a few points. I wanted you to see those few clips that I cut out. And I think it's important that we let these men do their jobs and we just wait. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see how we come out of the gate. Let's see what we do in the offseason. Let's see what we do with the trades, of course. Yes, of course. All right, I'm going to try and come up with one more video tonight, guys. It was a long day. I'm glad I got this one cut and ready pretty soon for you. And once this is uploading, I'm going to get right back in here and I'm going to try and do something else. I don't even remember. Well, I had some ideas, but I'll have to try and find those ideas that I wrote down somewhere. See you folks soon.